Action, baby.
Welcome to this week's episode of the After Party Podcast. I'm your host, Connor Moroney. I'm joined by my co-host, Andy Hudson. And today we have the guy that fucking actually runs the whole fucking ship around these parts, the manager of the Caxton Hotel Stirling Farquhar. What's happening, brother?
How are we? Not a lot, man. Fucking
The landlord.
happy to be here.
The landlord. Yeah.
Happy to be here. Just telling Andy, came from a little dinner, had a few beers, caught up with a mate, then switched to the rosés.
Yeah, fuck yeah. A couple brosés. Yeah. Mate, little midweek drink never fucking hurt anybody.
Wednesday
Actually, it's hurt a lot of people.
It's a lot.
But mate, fucking, I guess the reason we got you on, we see you 4 times a week. And mate, I'm sure you'll have a couple of good yarns for us, especially over the last couple of months, because it has been chaotic here at the pub. There's definitely been like a revibrance within the place. Like I've felt it in the last year, like every fucking Friday, Saturday, cunts in there like swimwear.
Thank you. It definitely, you're fucking spot on. Like it's this season for us. It's like obviously our busiest, and it was Origin night that was fucking crazy. Like I don't know if you saw the videos of the boys up here, the Maroons, but
bro,
that was definitely like
that's something.
We were definitely going to delve into that, because I mean, even think look back like a couple months ago, like fucking Magic Round was cooked as well, like especially having like Bloke in a Bar, Hello Sports, all those fellas up there.
What the Caxton is like, you know, you guys see it and stuff. Like that's what we, like I, you know, hope to sort of make like get people's perception of the pub and like what it should be about is like those types of things, like that, you know, Origin and like Magic Round and footy, NRL, it's like what we're synonymous with, and it's honestly like I have so much fun doing it.
It's like a bit of like what I noticed since doing the pod, it's like a little like community, like it's like, you know, it's not just like a place where people go to drink. Like I remember we had Mardo on and he was like, oh yeah, is that Farquhar? He's still running the place. Like everyone kind of knows you, and like you know the family. It's a family business, you know.
There's like even well before I came, like my uncle and dad have done a lot more than I have here and fucking laid the foundation for myself and like my cousin who used to work. Both my cousins used to work here and stuff, and like I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing and like having you guys up here doing your thing, and like the Bloody Brilliant Beers boys and Pack guys that used to do their stuff, and
fuck those cunts go on.
What I've honestly, I was actually talking about it tonight to my mate. I was like, I don't think you guys realize how like influential you have been in like introducing like new people to the pub. I think it goes very unrecognised that you guys, you know, have a platform where you just talk about whatever and talk about footy, just talk about shit, and it's just for girls and guys, and mainly guys that listen to it that are like, fuck yeah, it's at the Caxton, like, you know, go there, and like they might see you guys and like a fan or fans and like, you know.
It's funny you say that, because like that is good to hear, because I had one of my friends like ask me who's interested in the pod. He's like, oh yeah, so like how much does the Caxton like pay you to do the pod? And I was like, nothing. Like we bring nothing to the table. We bring maybe like 5 dudes here that are like, oh yeah, I think I've seen that fucking clip one time. It's like I'm like rushing people. The Caxton's not famous because we're here. But it's good to hear at least, you know, we're bringing something to the table. Somewhat mutual. Yeah?
People like, on the other hand, people are like, do you charge them and stuff? And I'm like, fuck.
Well, that's what I was like. If anything, it's like we should be paying rent. Rather than like
completely.
They're like, oh, do you like how much do you charge? I'm like, surely you make money out of them. And I'm like, it's not what it's about. Like,
I'll wait till they hopefully pop up. Just wait, and then hopefully one day it pops up, and then be like, well, remember all those years?
Can chuck us a few bucks.
You guys actually owe me 10 grand.
I'll be like, hey,
remember me?
Pay up.
Remember those rosés?
But mate, I guess let's do a little bit of a crowd comparison. I guess let's just go with the first comparison first. What do you reckon was more cooked? Game 3 Origin this year, or like any given day of Magic Round so far? Like, what do you reckon was like had more fucking froth to it?
So Magic Round is like a marathon. It's like, because the first year, I don't know if you remember, it was like the Thursday.
Yeah.
So this was the 3rd year they did it. And they've actually just signed it for another 2 years, which is awesome. But fucking scary when you think about it.
Yeah,
Another 2 years you got to like look ahead for. And like I do joke about it. Like I'm very grateful that it fucking happens here, and hope it always happens here because it is, you know, it was born here, Magic Round. So I hope it always stays here. But yeah, it used to be the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but now it's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, it's like the whole thing is just like a blur, kind of. You just like get very little sleep and like. You know,
you were up here, like, especially during that meet and greet as well. Like that was
the Saturday. Was that the Saturday?
That was Saturday. Yeah, that was bloody brilliant beers.
That was a bit of fun, like to sort of, you know, like we were quite busy downstairs, and I was quite overwhelmed with how many people. I think they all were too. Like
I couldn't fucking believe it.
Denon and Gerard and the Hello Sports boys were very overwhelmed, I think, with how many people turned up, and like it's a credit to them because they've got such a massive following. The amount of people that were like it was like, if you know the room, like
it looked like a fucking concert. It was like going on, bro.
It was like Beatles, but they were like snaked down the end of the room, like 100, 200 deep, and then downstairs like another 100, 200 waiting outside. And the whole thing was only supposed to go from like 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And they were like, I came up and I was like, it's like 2:45, and I'm like, there's still like a line out the door, like into the bars and shit. Like, and they're like, yeah, just keep it going. Like, they're like, we don't even want to miss out. And like, they honestly, like, they were here, I think, for like 1 o'clock to maybe 4:30, 5.
Yeah.
And
that's when the game started to sort of kick back on.
And I was like, wow, like.
I reckon at some point, like, it was so much hype around it when, like, there was so many people, like, some of those people didn't even know what they were lining up for. They were just like, oh yeah, like, there's this huge, it must be going somewhere sick. Like, there's no way that everyone's just waiting in line to go to the bathroom or something. Like,
yeah, well, bloody brilliant beers. They were using my gear. So we had a potty on that day. We were doing a 6 beers deep. So I had to come up and grab the kit off them, but they had the potties were already going. And I was like in that weird, like, interim room waiting for them to finish the pod so I could get the gear. Meanwhile, though, there's like fucking 700 brokers like, losing their
honestly,
mind.
I reckon 1,000 people came up.
They had to have been easy.
Just to say good day.
Everyone's walking in this room, though, was all important. There was like Den and Cam, Hello Sports, Drow Ye, like all these guys. And then I'm just sitting there.
YKTR guys came up
and then I'm just sitting there. So all these bogans at one point like thought I was like someone.
Well, you're one of them.
Yeah.
You like go up to get your gear, like one of the guys like just like signs your fucking cap. Like, no, dude.
Trying to get my gear, man.
Yeah.
Back to your question was like, was Origin
more cooked than?
Yes.
It was.
Yeah. 100%. Like,
straight up.
You put all those 3 days together, Origin was like way more just full on because there's so much hype that around it, and it builds like throughout the week. And like, I feel like the last couple of years, especially, I was talking to one of our other managers about this, like it honestly like has been building for this last like couple of years, like, and it's this year was just huge. Like it was crazy. It was fucked.
Because 2020, like obviously we had the Origin here. I guess all the restrictions were lifted, but it still kind of had a bit of like a handcuff on it where it couldn't really be like that.
Yeah.
Like
2020 was the end of the year, and there was the 3 games in like a week.
Yeah.
And the fact that this was like a decider, like it's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
bro.
Everyone knows. When was the last time we lost a decider here?
05. Game 305, yeah.
That's what that
like
we
we don't lose up here.
Yeah,
We don't lose. And everyone in the back of their mind was like, no matter what happened in Perth, like shit's different. Like,
exactly.
We're built different up here.
We are so different.
And to be honest, you know my theory as well, like why for a little while a lot of the teams, like back in the day, like before like phones and shit, a lot of the boys, like the teams would always come. They'd always come here, and I'd always hear stories from my old man and stuff, and like that they'd always come and like play up, and like it was, you know, you hear all those types of stories.
The folklore, if these walls could talk,
exactly.
They would charge Alfie Langer with like assault.
There was a period of time where they wouldn't come back for whatever reason, and now I think there's like this new generation of like where they're like social, like ourselves, like they see it on socials and they're kind of like, they hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
And they kind of are like, the fact that they came back makes me so happy because it's like, they wanted to be here.
Yes.
Like they wanted to be like, you know,
in the thick of the culture.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and sort of like go back to
They
that.
were like reliving their legend days. Like they're like, dude, look, I'm like fucking the 90s Maroons. Like,
you or I or fucking yourself were like playing.
Yeah.
And had have won that game, you'd been like, let's go back to the Caxton.
Fucking oath, bro. 100%.
And
like you look at all the fucking just the walls around here, bro. Like, like there's years and years of it.
Yeah.
But even like I've spoken to heaps of Reds players and shit since, like a few other footy players and whatnot, like just about the Caco in general. And like I think one of the sickest things that is happening is that like blokes play and then they come here after and then the fans get to fucking hang out and have a beer with fucking whoever from the Reds or the Maroons. Well, you never know who you're going to run into. You had a fucking weird one.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean about like a community vibe. It's like all the people downstairs are like Queensland fans and they're literally in the same building as the Queens. It's not like this big thing where they get shipped off to this private thing. It's like, they're like in the mix and it's like a big like community, and that's what makes it so you can literally like touch Suncorp from here. Like
it'd be like fucking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl and then partying at the fucking Tampa Bay like pub that everyone fucking froths at. Like you're in like they shouldn't be fucking 10 meters from you, but they are.
Yeah, it's so raw. But yeah, so I was so jealous when Connor showed me those videos. I was like, fuck, because there was a time after the Broncos game after the Titans win, so like they were all pretty amped. And then me and my mate Jet, who's like family members, are part of the Broncos and stuff.
They came back,
Yeah. And so I think I saw either your dad or your uncle, and like I was like walking up, and he like recognized me. So he was like, "Oh yeah, it's chill, like go up." And I was like shaking hands with them. Like I was like, I didn't actually know they came back here and like had a drink, and it was all pretty tame. Like they were just kind of like winding down.
They're not. Yeah, the perception is they get like buck wild, but they actually like. They're happy to like just chill in their own like little groups.
Yeah. It was like a family function and like they were just doing it. But yeah, it was funny. Like I was like to Balones, I was like, bro, like I got to FaceTime Balones here. Like this is wild. And I'm like, like, dude, I'm upstairs like with the Broncos. And then Herbie was playing like pool right there. And like, I was like waving. I'm like, come over. And I was like, this is my friend. It's his birthday. It wasn't his birthday. I just wanted
and I'm on the FaceTime and like all I'm yelling at him is going like, get him on the pod. Like, get him in. I was like, the fucking studio's there. Just show him it. Like, tell him you do the pod. Like, get him on.
And then I was
he's just like fucking out.
I was like, yeah, this is my friend. Like, it's his birthday. And he's like, happy birthday, man. I hope you're having a good one. Like, take it easy. And I was like, get on the pod.
I wasn't hearing shit. But how was the could you, by the time all the boys were there like full on ripping in, were you kind of like gotten rid of your managerial duties at that point? Like could you rip in with them as well?
So what had happened is we'd had a Florex function up here.
Yeah.
And so we just cleaned it, and like it was all full cleaned, like, and with a private function and stuff. What we often do with them is they, it's always a private function. If they come upstairs, they always like pre-book it and whatever. And they're like, yeah, we're going to come back. It's our own thing. And they're away from other people that they don't necessarily want to come up and be a part of the function.
That'd be wanting to get rid of 50,000.
Alfie, I shit you not, like I have the phone calls from Alf on my phone. He calls me at like 2:15 and is AM and is like, so I think we're going to come back. And we'd kind of like thought of it, like he'd spoken to Steve and stuff and was like, yeah, we might come back, blah, 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 just in case. And so we're there and like, I'm like, what do you reckon? Like spoke to them and they're like, well, yeah, like.
No, bro. Nah, dude. We're close.
Like, done. Sick. So I was like, how far off are you? And I'm downstairs and I'm like, he's like, yeah, we're on the bus. And I'm like, fuck, like, all right, like this whole area's like been packed up. There's no ice. Like, it sounds like silly, but you have to like set the bar up and shit.
Yeah.
There's a girl up here like still kind of cleaning it, and I'm like, we got to open it back up. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we got. People are coming back up. And she's like, oh fuck, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So she's like, set it up real quick, goes and gets ice, and then like dead set, like 2 minutes. Like I was downstairs and like the bus is coming up the street. I ran up and I was like, we had all the like the bars downstairs were like full. Like we'd had staff doing massive days and stuff, and I was just serving in the bar up here.
Oh, bro, like to put this into perspective for everyone, like this pub would probably have like 1,000 cunts already in it, maybe 2,000 that have just been like losing their mind all night about the Maroons, and then they rock up. That's like letting like Justin Bieber rock up to like fucking 3,000 drunk 16-year-old chicks.
Yeah. So I'm upstairs, and I didn't actually see them come up. I was up here like telling her, and they've come up, and she's like, oh shit, like you didn't tell me it was the team. I was like, well,
what do you want me to tell you?
Like, here we go. And then they just like, they were all fucking awesome. Like, just like, it was, honestly, I was just like, this is not real. Like, it's actually not real. It was just the team and like all 17 players and who else was there? Like Sam Walker and like the
extended squad,
squad, like Flegler and like all those boys were there. I think Coates might have been there as well, and like all the coaches and the coaching staff's like Cam Smith, Nate Miles, JT Slater, Josh Hannay.
It's arguably
Alfie,
the most bent
and it was just them, and like of course like a couple of their like trainers and like the physio and like. There would have been probably like 30 people up here.
Oh, it's almost like
I'm like, this is actually fucking a dream. Like, this is not real.
Do you know how
and had the music just blasting, and they're just like enjoying themselves.
Old school songs, it's almost like the KFC secret recipe had like the 3 people on the plane, like 3 people that know it can't be on the same plane in case it goes down. It's like, if God forbid if something happened to Caxton, it's like the whole of the legendary, every legendary Queenslander that's ever existed was in this building at that night. It's like
bro,
precious cargo.
Let's get to the nitty gritty. Who was wigging the fuck out
in the team?
Yeah, was there anyone that was having a bit of a dig more than the others?
Jai Arrow was.
Well, that's
from the news story, because they left here at like a reasonable time at like 3:30. We'd closed at 3. Or they left probably a bit before then actually, and like you can't serve after 3. So they were like, yeah, all right, sweets, but you know, let them finish their drinks and shit. And the whole pub had sort of like gone outside as well.
Yeah.
And like they ran to the bus and kind of got like mobbed by people like
obviously
to the bus. But like they, you know, like it was, who was it? Jai Arrow. Kalen Ponga was pretty lit.
He deserves it because I feel
he played.
That's he strikes me statement. They all fucking deserve to do whatever the fuck they want.
But he strikes me as more of a guy who's like bit in his shell, and that was like his coming out party. Like, dude, I'm fucking that guy.
Big Papa had lost his voice.
Well, that's what I was saying. Papa probably broke this chair. Like, we sat down there. I was like, jeez, who sat here? Is this Papali?
Someone fill me out.
Yeah, bro.
Top it up.
Yeah, fucking oath. That's awesome because like.
There should be a Queensland like government legislation exception. It's like we can serve after 3. Like I know it's the law, but
they should have a public holiday if you win game 3. The decider. Like Thursday you get off.
It's kind of an unspoken one. Like if you're not there on Thursday, no one's going to be like.
Do you know?
No, that's exactly when they do. If you've got cunts not on Thursday, I was like, what else are you doing? Apparently, Darcy from Bodybuilding Beers had a shocker
on Thursday.
Apparently, fucking.
He was at work.
I went right him.
He was absolutely like. Spent on Wednesday.
Who was worse, him at Origin or me after the Wallabies?
That's a touchy subject.
Oh, bro! So guess what? I found out why I actually got kicked out because they were all misdemeanors. I thought leading up to it, but in my head. I was just talking to a bloke at the bar, and then they were like, "You've had too much to drink and leave." Apparently, before that, I went up to some chick from behind her, scooped her up, put her on my shoulders, and was walking around the pub with her on my shoulders.
That'll do it. Yeah,
fucking psycho dickhead.
Yeah, you may have or may have not have done that, but they just could tell you that, and you'd be like, "Well, there's no way for me to deny that." You could have told me I did anything. I'd be like, "Guilty as charged."
Deleting memory space with every fucking.
So yeah, that's a tough gig having to kick out dudes like the Lions every now and then.
Do you know what? The fucking I didn't kick you out, did I?
No, you didn't kick me out. I remember
you were the puppet master, like sending your fucking goons to kick it out.
Night was like actually I will say that night was fucking more stressful than the Origin one for me because we were like, there was just so much shit going on out.
Well, I had no concept of how hectic it was.
It was crazy that night.
Also, it's a Saturday night, so there's a lot of like other like interest going on. Like it's just like a general Saturday night is going to be.
It was a huge week.
It was
like
fucked.
the Saturday was that. Sunday was the Broncos game, and then.
Origin
Was that
Wednesday
against the
St George? Yeah.
Fucking played awesome with the baby Broncos, and then Monday we had like Channel 9 here with
that's right,
Joey and like Lockie and Thaiday. I will say, dude, Joey's a bit of a fucking species, good bloke, but like.
How so?
Well, I mean, he's
weird
been through
vibes,
some
weird vibes.
Weird
I got weird
vibes?
vibes from him.
Because I saw him at.
I actually don't care because he's a new.
I went to a live podcast.
Yeah, you can shit on him. It's chill.
I went to a live podcast where like he was speaking and like a lot of it was off the record. His and Berwick Barnes one, and he was telling like outrageous stories there that I probably shouldn't fucking tell now.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with him is, especially Queenslanders, kind of forget how famous the cunt is, because I went to this live podcast
like
and like I was sort of like
the Queensland Lockyer.
I was sort of like whatever, like I'm keen to see this, it'll be a good night or whatever, but the other people in attendance were like chomping at the bit, and I reckon maybe that might be it. He's just got 10 billion
I
cunts.
got told afterwards that he was from the 9 like producer guys, or like the people who were running the staff. They did so much shit, like all these like they did heaps of stuff, and it was all live crossed back to Sydney, so it was just over like an hour or two, and he was like super nervous, they said, coming here, because I don't think he'd ever been here before.
Yeah, right.
And he was like worried, I think, of the reception he would get.
Yeah,
He's gonna get like poisoned or something. He's like smelling the beer before you give it to him.
How funny you say that. He ordered all night Cooper's Greens in the bottles. In the bottles.
He's like, I'll open it. It's like,
tapping off tap. When he orders a Cooper's Green at the Caxton.
Yeah, that's a wow.
And I tried to, there's a photo of like him and Lockyer and Thaiday, and I was like, oh, can you guys take a photo in the maroon Caxton hats?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm not wearing it. And I was like, oh, surely for the photo. And he's like, fuck no, I'm not wearing it.
That's what the best thing about league is. Like there's no like
all these media people like taking photos.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing it, dude.
No chance.
Fucking Corey Worthing here.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not taking it. Yeah, I'll say sorry, but I'm not. But yeah, that's the good thing about league is like they don't even pretend to be like he's a commentator. He's meant to be unbiased, but they don't even pretend. It's like it's so funny when they're like, all right, here's the commentator's picks for Origin, and it's like this guy, New South Wales, he's like Gallen, New South Wales, like Lockyer, who's he pick? Oh, Maroons. Like it's like they don't even try to hide
the thing about him
which
is he has every right to be the exact way he is.
Oh yeah.
And, like, and it's also what they said, they were like, yeah, it was interesting we got him up here on a Monday because like obviously they try and fly him up on the Tuesday to commentate for the game on Wednesday, or fly them up that day. But he was like, I think he just wanted to come up here and surf. and I was like, fucking fair enough.
Yeah.
But,
like, imagine just talking about footy.
We had that. We had that thing on the Monday, and then the Wednesday was Origin. That was crazy. And the Tuesday and Thursday, the thing is like I said, like people actually fly up prior, and it's busy, like super busy the day before and after, all the people in a state. And then Saturday we had Friday and Saturday were quite busy, and then I actually had my 10-year fucking nudgy reunion on Saturday up here, which is awesome. And then Sunday I battled, was back at midday for Aston Villa versus Leeds. They played on Sunday.
What was that like? What was that crowd like?
Oh, they were all right, honestly. It was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And, like, it was
all
super,
the dudes that support like EPL and like that I know kind of like dorks. They're like, like this is my team because I chose them one time. Like it's like you don't actually care about them, bro.
Like, PSA to any cunt from Brisbane that has like zero heritage to Liverpool, and when Liverpool randomly rock up to Suncorp and they have the audacity to stand there
you
and
never walk alone and shit.
With the fucking scarf, dude. Like, get the fuck over yourself, cunt. Rock up to a Raw game first.
Exactly.
And then come back to me because that's absolutely
the Redcliffe Raw.
Oh, bro. And like they're usually versing an Aussie team, and they're like backing.
Yeah, they're like spitting on the.
FIFA
Yeah, it's like, dude, I used to play with them on FIFA 11. Like, I love them. Bro.
Oh yeah, just go have sex with a chick and then fucking come back to me.
They were alright. There's heaps of like pommies and stuff, and like people that were like actually, I feel like genuine English like supporters and shit.
Yeah,
because they're very obscure teams.
They were, yeah.
So like
sure.
Leeds and Aston Villa, like you know, like if you're fucking Joe Schmo, you'd play with like Chelsea
Arsenal,
or
Man U, yeah,
someone like that on FIFA.
Yeah.
So like they were probably like all genuine supporters, and they sang all the songs and stuff.
That's
like,
gone.
In the cauldron, and like you could like I was down in the restaurant and stuff, and we would pack down there, and like you hear like just chanting like upstairs, and it was like echoing. It was pretty cool, but
we need to work that out.
Like,
yeah, it's annoying.
But I sold the whole England Wallabies game as that was going to be the thing. Like everyone's going to be singing.
Dude,
and
they started singing. No, they started singing, and it was like you could like hear it. They had a little slither in the like away team corner, and it was like, bro, that's actually pretty loud compared to like the slither of people. We need as Queenslanders to work that out. That would be so dope. Our voices suck. We'd be like, they're like singing, and it like amplifies the amount of people there.
What they could do, especially for league games and stuff, which I think would be sick, is for the Raw and whatever, they've got the den, and then there's one guy who gets to like get pivoted up in front of the crowd, and he's got like a megaphone and goes bananas.
Yep.
That would be ham if you could do that at like the league. But I feel like it's too disorderly.
Everyone's like, which is what you want, because it just scares the other team.
It feels like you're in a prison, right?
They're bringing back a couple games to Suncorp next year because they all got moved to Redcliffe.
Yeah. I got booted from the Dolphin Stadium.
At a Raw game.
I've almost been kicked out of like every stadium.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You just get lit.
I was going.
You've seen it.
Well, like you saw it firsthand. But I basically was just bringing the rugby to like soccer. Like it looks like literally World of Warcraft Gibbons that are in the den going like, "We are the Raw," or whatever. And then I'm like, me and Duff were just going ham. We were going like, said, boom, chicka boom. Like, throwing bins down. And
You're
shit.
out, buddy.
And then all these dudes in suits came up to me and kicked me out. And it was for Jesse Daly's, like our mate plays.
I was speaking to him. I want to go watch a game because it's kind of halfway between like Sunshine and Brisbane, so it's accessible.
Yeah. It's a sick stadium apparently too.
Yeah, it is sick.
Like it's not too big. It's like a perfect size for them.
It's got Ballymore feels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like when they were here, dude, like 2011, 2012.
I was at that game.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it the other day. Like they were getting like packed.
Oh, bro,
they
were winning.
Like 52,000 sellouts.
Yeah, I used to go with Keezy a bit. They were fucking gone. But anyway, we should probably fucking get into the rigmarole of the fucking show. And first things first, we'll start off with our segment, Piss Head with the Footy Problem, which is basically we find a certain guy. We try to like look through the archives and find like just cooked moments in sport where just like blokes really were putting the footy to the second tier of priorities in front of their piss addiction. So Ahad's taking the reins on this one today. Who it was an old Penrith player, wasn't it?
No. So current Penrith player. He actually returned because I don't think he's that good. You know, Charlie Staines. Yeah. So I want to revisit.
That good.
Well, dude, he got dropped and then he came back when they had like 10 players out over the weekend.
Have you heard of the Lockjaw story?
That's where we're going. He's like, hold up. Yeah. So we actually have. Mate. Yeah. So. Speaking of that,
explain it to the fans at home, mate.
In 2020 when they had like really weird restrictions where it was like you can have 10 people over each person at a time. And so he, on his debut, he scored 4 tries against the Sharks in round 9 2020. Like dope experience, obviously in Penrith, like all the local people around him were, get like ecstatic. So it's funny, this one's kind of like hypocritical because the thing that he got in trouble for was the most chilled thing about it is like after the game he had his mum, dad, partner, his partner's parents, so what's that, like 6, and then 4 of his mates had 4 of his mates, and then they're drinking, enjoying the night. At 2:30 a.m. he calls.
Can I say in every time he scored a try, there'd be like pan to his mates in the corner of like he was a winger.
Yeah.
He'd score a try. There'd be like 30, 40 of his mates like in the corner just like cheering him.
Going burgers, yeah, which leads you to believe that maybe he was telling porcupines.
There was more than 10 people.
Yeah, there's more than 10 people.
Bro, 10 people.
Yeah, and also, okay, so at 2:30 a.m.
His mum and dad. Like,
and my partner's parents, like, that's bullshit, bro.
fucked.
Come on, dude.
Your partner probably didn't even go back.
Well, are you sure it wasn't those 60 dudes going bananas in the fucking corner? So at 2:30 a.m. he called an ambulance as he had, well, he obviously didn't call the ambulance. He tried to, but he had lockjaw, so he had to go to the emergency room. Like, what? So he then went to the hospital. They sorted him out. You know, we don't know exactly why he had lockjaw, but, you know, there's certain suspicions that could be made if at 2:30 a.m.
There's one word and it rhymes with fucking schlingers.
Why you would get lockjaw at 2 a.m.
What this fucking rosé is lovely, by the way. I actually really like it. Well, let's just fucking call it what it is. Yeah, if a chair's a chair, not tough to tear. It's probably a fucking chair.
If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's fucking.
It's gonna be
high
a
on
duck.
MD,
bro. Like, yeah, I reckon.
If it looks like a poo skid, it's a Charlie Stain.
Exactly.
So, and dude, the articles were so funny. It's like biggest stain on his career.
He got the piss taken out of him by Fletcher and Hindy.
Really?
Yeah, they did a segment on the Matty John show and like full on like they have like a clipboard. Did you watch it?
I watched Fletcher and Hindy, but I think I missed this one.
And they like. They like, how's your jaw?
Yeah, when they interview him. Yeah.
Ask him like the question, like they don't say anything like that'd get them like legally in trouble, and then it just pans to their face, and he's just like got the biggest grin on his face, like he tells the story with his face.
Yeah.
And what was so weird when that
like
story
Bailey
came
Smith,
out?
like when, like after he caught for the bag thing, then he's like lining up for a goal like 2 weeks later, just before the thing dropped, and you see the guy in the crowd go like buy another bag, fucking Bailey or whatever, and he looks at me and goes like,
exactly. They know what
they're fucking doing, dude.
But what was so weird to me with this story is like I thought I was like the only person in the world that was like, because he got in trouble because he breached the biosecurity.
There was nothing for the lockjaw
protocol. Yeah. And it was like, you know, the fact he went to the hospital with lockjaw was all like an afterthought. And I was like, but are we gonna talk about the fact that he had lockjaw at 3 a.m.? Like, dude. And they're like, you know, he should have called us and like he should have let us know when he got. He's like, how? He had lockjaw. Like, what the fuck?
If you know the guy and what he looks like, not that I know the guy, but you know what he looks like. He's got a large jaw.
He's got a large jaw. Yeah.
Bit of a maxi bond chin.
Yeah, he does have a large jaw. So I mean, mate. But at 2 a.m., dude.
A couple of things like with it. First things first, I can play the fuck on. Like if you score 4 tries on debut in the NRL, like you telling me that's not the most bent you're ever gonna get?
Your mates are all there.
Like fuck, mate. Like that's out of control. I can play on. Second thing, I've eaten a fair few fucking disco bickies in my time, mate, and I've never fucking had lockjaw, bro. Like,
imagine the moment when he got it. He's like, guys, like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's just so bizarre. That just brings me back to the weirdest.
How's his footy been since the
not great,
not fantastic.
No, he's been like sort of in there, reserve grader, and then obviously he played this weekend, and that's kind of what reminded me of the whole lockjaw thing.
What would have sucked is I actually think about this because he was like he had a good season that year.
Yep.
And then was it the year they made the final?
Yeah, and then lost to Storm.
It might have even been the year after. He got dropped, or not dropped, but Brent Naden.
Yeah.
Side, and he played like all the way up until like the finals, and then got like replaced by Brent Naden, who
didn't have lockjaw one time. It's like we'd love to have
I remember that for some reason. Like they picked this dude Brent Naden over him,
and he's kind of got fucked.
And and now he isn't really in their first grade side.
Yeah, he played on the weekend because they had like 10 players out for Origin.
That Tylan May guy is in there, and Brian Totter.
They're so deep, Penrith. They just like next man up kind of. He'll get a contract somewhere else.
I've got a feeling they're building something as well where it's like they're gonna stay. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
Yeah, because they're all brought up through the system.
It's not going away. There's too much pride there right now. The Panther pride's strong.
Plan.
Yeah,
5 years later,
I feel like they're gonna. Yeah, I honestly reckon that's gonna be a bit of a powerhouse for a minute.
Dynasty. Yeah.
But yeah, mate, I
fucking hate Penrith too.
Same.
Just to maybe like a little gauge if we're going to like fucking immortal blokes on the piss. I guess Staino up there.
Nah, I think Staino's a bit of like a blimp in the fucking. Just like a little. He had a moment, but you can't be getting. Dude, you can't be getting taken down by lockjaw. Like Gower was taken down by like 6 police officers. Like if your own body is taking you down, like I don't want to put you in that conversation with
Staino at his house after. It's like Steve Madden, women's shoes. I reckon he just seems like the type of guy that like doesn't get let into the festival or something, and you're like,
he just rigged out in the campsite.
Can't bring you anywhere. Oh well, but mate, we'll put that puppy to bed and move on to our other segment that we've been ripping through, and that is what happens on tour. And for those that haven't heard this segment, basically, I personally believe that the old saying goes, "What happens on tour stays on tour." However, I've got a belief that there is an expiry to those stories, and that everything should be told at one point, or else they're just going to die in people's brains when they should be living on the internet rent free. Everything stays anonymous, but we just are trying to find the most cooked and best fucking tour stories all throughout sport. And mate, we've got a bit of a North's Eagles stalwart here,
veteran.
I don't know if they even go on tours, but mate, do you have any tour or even know of any other tour stories? We don't know dropping names or anything like that, unless you want to.
So you told me, you said the one thing to think about is tour stories. I put a little thing in our group chat it was called the Caxton Cox. It was it was a North's tour thing we did down to Byron and did the sevens. The sevens tournament down to Byron. We did it for 2-3 years. And the Caxton sponsored. It was so much fun. End of year thing. I've screenshotted. I was like, boys, help me out here with some stories. And I had someone call me up today and was like, don't you dare fucking say anything that'll jeopardize my career. My career, man. Yeah. But the one thing I remembered was, do you remember Alex Gibbon?
Yes.
Biggest legend. It's some weird stuff, nothing too hectic, just from these tours. He caught a bush turkey. We were on the beach kind of in these hostel sort of cabin things, and we had a little camping setup, and there was bush turkeys and scrub around us, and we were all blind, and he just caught a bush turkey. And I remember holding up a bush turkey, and because he's from country New South Wales, and
so he
just
doesn't
chill. Give a fuck. And,
bro,
caught it and was
so
playing
dirty
with it and just
eating it. He's like, I love turkey burgers.
Just weird. Hold up, let me.
I had one similar to that. Our mates went on an AFL end of year footy trip to Moreton Bay, and they were driving along the beach at 2 a.m. Just going along as you do on Moreton, and some guy just sees this seagull flying next to the car. He winds down the window, just grabs the seagull, brings it in the car. Everyone's it's obviously losing his shit. He's like, what the? He was as surprised as everyone else. How did I get that? Then just puts it back out and it just flies off, and they were all mark of the year. That was the catch of the year.
So, Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Probably something I can say was there's some weird stuff in here. Someone stole, because it's at Byron, and it was that time of year. There's familiar people there. One of the guys goes, he goes, me stealing Todd Carney's vodka, then him buying me another to replace it. Top bloke. and then one do you know Solar, a proper Norse veteran?
No.
Solar telling George Burgess he's the shit brother
to his face.
To his face. And then something else about Todd Carney I can't say.
Todd Carney's in a
that actually just reminded me.
And I remember running into. Do you remember? used to play for Canberra, the Raiders. Terry Campese.
Terry
Campese, like off his face at a kebab store, just absolutely like fucking fingered at a kebab store, like in the morning.
It reminds me of the Birds one. Reminds me basically like when we were on tour, we had a rule, and like I've been trying to implement it to people that I work with, but they never fucking do it because they're all just like, you know, it's the perfect rule for when you've got mates that are just like too chirpy and like, you know what I mean, like they're always talk and no bite, like not all bark and no bite. Yeah,
someone say.
So the rule's called teller, and basically how it works is like if you are walking around with a group of blokes or whatever, and let's just say like, hey, you're with me, and you go like, oi, Ballones, fucking look at that chick's fucking tits, they're fucking huge, whatever. If I go teller, you have to go up and say exactly what you said. The only way to get out of it is if you say, but I told her. So you'd be like, Connor, us all those, look at those tits over there, but I told her.
Oh, so that safeguards you.
That safeguards you. But like, obviously, as like 3 weeks goes on, everyone's drunk, you forget, you're saying shit all the time.
That chick,
and then also you can have the contrary of tell him. So like, if you go like, oh, look at that wanker over there, fucking douchebag, whatever. You got to go over, exactly, and do that. I remember my coach, Elton, we were in like Cambridge, I think, and it was like 0 weeks. I was just pumping like crazy party, and I remember we were like in this club on the D floor, and he's like, "Look at that fat slut cunt," and it's like, and I'm like, "Tell her, like, tell her,
hey, tell her."
And then I watch him like go over, and because like the music's so loud, I can only see his mouth move, and he's like, "Fucking,
I'm so sorry,
fat slut cunt," and she just goes. Rightfully
so. Yeah,
a fucking oath. But at the same time, that is a good rule for anybody.
Well, you don't talk shit about people behind people's back. It kind of makes you, your words mean something.
Yeah, 100%. Unless you're just not like a pussy saying it behind the back.
Yeah.
Last from this was, I actually was here for this, and it was absolutely gold. You know, Kieran Fitzgibbon. Plays for North.
Oh, yeah.
Big, like huge prop.
Fucking oath. Yeah.
Fucking absolute fucking lad. We went to the beachy, like obviously in Byron.
Yeah.
And he literally is like the least troublesome person. Like he does not cause any dramas at all.
Yeah.
And I think it was the fact that he was just like blind because he can.
Oh, bro, he's the most lovely bloke,
dude.
Bro, of course, he's building a fucking fridge. Hey, this is like one of the biggest cunts I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
like I remember playing footy against him one time.
Give me some measurements. Give me some size.
Oh, bro, like how big do you reckon he'd be? He'd be like.
He should be playing like fucking top flight footy over in.
He should be in the WWE, bro.
Yeah, he's like the great color.
He's 6'5", bro. He fell on me in footy one time, and like I tried to get up, and bro, like this.
Was that game when we played when North beat you in reserve? And we were both skipping.
Did you guys verse each other?
Dude, get this.
Oh shit! He always says North's a shit.
Yeah, I know. And there's one.
I ran out as skipper, and I didn't know you were playing.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know you played footy.
And I'm like, what are you doing here, what the fuck?
Dab each other up. What's up? What are you doing?
It's like pillar to post day. So like I only met Stirling a couple of times, run out, and like I'm expecting like a pretty easy day at the office against Norths. See Stirling, like we're both skippers. See Stirling, I'm like, the fuck's going on, dude? Like we both were like, the fuck's going on? Shake hands and shit, and then it proceeded.
I scored
to be
a double too. I scored.
It was dude, you got dunked on, bro.
And bro, I was chirping the whole game.
Yeah,
bro. It was
tell him, bro.
Fucked, bro. And then they fucking won.
Fitzy was my prop, and Albert Ane was your prop.
Yes,
was your tight
But
head.
Albert Ane fucking was the most unfit human that's ever lived.
I was playing hooker and had Fitzy on my loose, and I still had Albert Ane like coming in, and I was like, holy.
Were you playing hooker?
Yeah, I was like, fuck this.
Oh,
dude.
bro.
Anyway, Fitzy at Byron at the beachy, like, you know, like think of like the biggest prop.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Think of.
Is he like thick or tall or
Thick
both?
and tall,
oh, okay,
bro.
yeah, the package.
Fucking
the full
gigantic.
package.
His calves are like two of mine.
Like he could choke slam you like without you jumping up.
Yeah. He was at the beachy, and for whatever reason, it was the Saturday, and he got surrounded by all these guards, and they were like, "Mate, it's time for you to go."
They can't do shit.
I'll leave when I'm ready to leave.
Like, he's like John Wick, like fuck up.
Just like these Byron base seckies like looked at each other and like, he's he's got a point here.
Yeah. He's like, what are we gonna do, dude?
We can't do anything.
Yeah.
And he stayed. Like he just stayed. And then he came back on the Sunday, and we had like a palmy on the Sunday arvo, and like same thing. They like kind of came up and were like, "Mate, you know you're not welcome here." He's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna finish my thing."
I also don't give a fuck.
And then I'll go. Like it caused him no trouble at all. Like I think it was just the fact that he was like
too big for the fucking pub.
It was weird. He didn't do anything, and they were just kind of.
They're just threatened by him, dude.
And he was like, "I'll go when I'm ready to go. Like I'm not doing anything."
Boys, get this. So, I told a story last week on this exact segment. What happens on tour? I told when I got arrested in England. I was 18 on the UQ tour, youngest on tour, first to get arrested on a uni tour.
Got something to prove.
Yeah, I really did. But anyway, one of the boys from the trip fucking listened to the pod, and he's like, so I spoke about, I made sure that I could get one call. I was like, I've seen the movies. I get one call. They're like, no. I'm like, bro, I'm in fucking England. Like, please just give me the call. Like, I'm seriously fucked if I don't.
I'm not on trial for murder here, dude. I'm just trying to steal a bike.
My charge was attempted theft of push bike. Anyway, so one of the boys has the voice.
Where was it in Europe, just quickly?
Is it in England, in London?
Right. In Amsterdam, it's like a thing. In Amsterdam, if you
steal
a push bike in Amsterdam, bro, it's like
serious trouble.
It's like a felony. It's a real thing.
I was exuberated of all charges, but
exonerated.
It's like exuberated.
Exuberated.
Made a word. But one of the boys has the voicemail from me in the slammer. Like this is my one call. I've got it right here. Oh, you guys don't have fucking headies.
I've got a headie. Do you want to listen to it?
Oh yeah, I'll give it.
I'll be able to hear it out loud.
I've heard it.
You've heard it, yeah.
Let me know if you can like fucking hear it. It should be.
You've heard it. It was you. I've said it.
Okay.
How's it going, mate? Weird thing happened. I am arrested. Weirdly enough, I'm in central London police officer. I'm under good care. They're checking out the doctors. Everyone's lovable here. Having a good time with them all. Anywho, if you hear this message, come pick me up. That'd be lovely. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. So they reckon I'll let me go. But potentially, I'm going to be here for 25 to life. I don't know if I'll do that, but if I do, call me a lawyer, because I'm fucked. Anyway, see you, mate. Have a good one. Love your kids.
Bro, that sounds nothing like you.
They played that. I know. Well, I was 18, bro. That was 8 years ago now.
How did they get that?
Well, I sent
Was
that.
it a voice message?
A voice message,
true,
and that was through like a lunch bag, basically, like because it was like in like evidence. So I'm like speaking through a lunch bag, and they played that over the bus the next day because everyone was like, "Where the fuck's Connor?" And then they played it over the speaker the next day.
Sounds like you're doing like a British accent. Yeah, hey mate,
very young then.
Yeah,
I'm 18.
Hey,
I'm 18. Yeah, I'm 25
please
now.
come get me.
Please come get me.
You'd like spend an hour in a British
Then, like, at
prison.
the end here, I was like, I'm serving 25 to life.
I got 25 to life.
And then all the boys are like, what has he done, bro?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, you didn't like say that you were joking. Yeah, you were like, yeah, I'm fucking with you.
I didn't give them any reassurance.
And it kind of sounded like you were like come to terms with the fact you were going to die in prison.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you were, like crying.
They took my shoelaces, so I was like, fuck, I can't kill myself anymore.
Did they actually?
Yeah, they did. I was doing like blood tests and shit, bro. I was like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
It was fucked.
He was stealing a Huffy.
Mate,
Put him in jail.
By 2 p.m. the next day, I was begging for the
I
shoelaces.
wonder if it's considered like Grand
long
Theft
were you in
Auto.
there?
17 or 18 hours.
Right.
So the boys came the next morning. And if you guys want to hear the full story, go back to our episode 30, I think. It's in there. It's called Connor Goes to Jail.
What episode is this?
32.
Episode's
32.
called Connor Goes to Jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Connor Goes to Jail.
What's this one called?
I'm not sure. Fucking Lord Farquhar.
Now it is.
I think so. Oh, well, we'll fuck that one right off and we'll go into our last segment of the day and we'll get the fuck out of here. This is one that we like to call Baloney's Backyard Brawls. And usually we try to get any like celebrity or like dicey sort of setup. And we basically break down like in a fight, like who would win. To give you preference, like an idea of like how it fucking goes is do we agree on a fight to the death?
Yeah, well, it's a controlled environment. It's not just like a street brawl where you can grab anything, but it's like
You're in an octagon.
it's like. Have you ever seen the Kimbo Slice like backyard brawls?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
that. Like it can go to death, or if you just want to give in, like knockout, whatever. But it can go to death.
It can
if it needs to. If they don't, yeah.
And like, apologies to any listeners that have already heard this one before, but we needed to get a newcomer's idea on it.
There's new evidence as well.
Yeah, for sure. And basically, so you know the whole fucking Johnny Depp Amber Heard shit.
Yeah.
So So me, Ahud, and 3 of our other mates, we were on this shit. Like, we've been on this shit for like 3 years now. Like, well before the case was a thing. Like, we were invested in the whole fucking thing. And the main piece that we were addicted to out of the whole story was that Elon Musk actually pumped Amber Heard whilst they were married. And so then there was beef between Elon Musk and Johnny Depp. And basically, was it Johnny or Elon said that? I think Johnny said that he would beat him in a cage match, basically.
I don't think he ever explicitly said it, but
No, he said he would beat him in a...
okay, yeah. Which is fucking cap. No disrespect to Johnny, but...
Yeah. So there's a lot of fight. It's split down the middle, and this argument's still being on for 5 years. We can't get to the bottom of it, and we basically need outsiders to give us a better idea.
Who would
So
win in a fight?
In a fight,
Yeah, so Johnny, I'll give
Depp
you
and
the
Elon Musk.
measurements and stuff. So I believe Johnny Depp's like 5'7". So he's 59
Definitely
years
weighs
of
more.
age. 59 years of age.
Is that Depp or Musk?
This is Depp.
Yeah.
So this is Johnny Depp, 59 years of age.
59.
Yeah, he's old, bro, and he's
Rinsed
smoked a
out.
lot of crack in those 59 years, dude.
Oh, man.
Ciggies, drinks.
So he's 5'10", 78 kilos. Dude, fuck
5'10"?
him.
78
Yeah, he's
kilos.
bulking, bro. That's when the last time we checked, he was like 40, dude. He was like a rinsed out
Amber
bender.
Heard weighed more than him.
Yeah.
She was throwing him around the room.
Fighting experience, like his misso, obviously we know that. But so 78 kilos, 178. So that's pretty even. 5'11".
I'd give maybe like some Pirates of the
How old's
Caribbean,
Elon?
like
How old's
movement,
Elon?
maybe. But basically,
How old's Elon?
Elon is
I reckon like 47.
he's 50 years old. Dude, he's a big dog. He's 6'2", 82 kilos.
Yeah, so we got the size there
I
already.
reckon, like, I fucking love Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I don't mind Elon Musk.
I've got
I
the same
reckon,
tattoo as him, and I'm on
Yeah.
Musk.
Does he have the same tat?
I've got the
Yeah,
fucking
right.
Jack Sparrow. I didn't even realize that was it.
He just wigged out at the
Is that
sample
an Elon?
tattoos.
Wait, Elon Musk has that.
No, Johnny Depp
Oh,
does,
Johnny
and he
Depp
has it in
does that.
Pirates of the
That's
Caribbean.
weird if Elon Musk has a sparrow on his fucking
That's
arm.
the sort of
Does he do?
headspace
Yeah,
that he
he's
would do.
like-
He's in his head,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
So what? I gotta.
Who'd win a fight?
Okay.
who wins in a fight and why?
Look, Johnny Depp. Have you seen him in Mordecai? Have you seen the movie Mordecai?
Yes, I have.
No.
Mordecai is a fucking very it's a funny movie.
It's out there.
He's a bit weird in it.
Yeah, like every
You
role.
know, he's like-
Edward Scissorhands.
Exactly. Like Jack Sparrow, bit weird. I'm yet to see like a manly Johnny Depp. I reckon. I reckon fucking Mordecai. I mean, I reckon Elon would be like tapped into some weird shit.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
he'd be like he'd be like some like SpaceX program. Like I watched
He's
this
definitely
video.
on TRT.
But there's the
yeah.
argument.
Yeah,
So
I watched Elon talk about like drones killing someone. He was like, someone asked him like this
Oh,
weird
yes,
question.
I
Have you
saw
seen
that.
it?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like, what would be the way that like could you program drones to like kill someone? He's like, yes, quite easily. I'd program the drones to look at the man's face.
Yeah, he's like, you get the face
And-
ID from any
and- yeah.
phone, attach it to a
From my
drone,
Tesla,
and
and
fly it
fucking
into the
run him over with my
I
Tesla.
feel like Elon would probably go to those levels of
Yes.
killing him.
Oh, bro, like if Elon wanted Johnny
would-
dead, like
he'd do it-
outside of
he'd do it
Baloney's
before the
backyard.
cage.
Oh,
He'd
dude.
do it before the cage.
he could fucking press one button. He's got a button that says Depp.
But I'm gonna say if they get in the cage, Johnny Depp would go full like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
and
fuck, dude.
and fucking kill him.
Okay, so
That's the argument. That's
Johnny
the
Depp.
argument.
No.
That's the argument.
Johnny Depp would fucking shit up.
okay, so
Johnny Depp would
Yeah.
go skits.
Yeah, that's the argument.
so
That's the Depp
that
argument.
literally is the Depp argument.
It's
because
like the crackhead strength, the craziness of
Yeah,
Depp, who's like,
He's
Depp
alco-
plays like the cool calm, collective guy in court, but I reckon he's
psycho.
lived a lot
dude,
more.
he's
His
nailed
age,
it.
his
A
age.
He's
mega
seen
pint.
more fucked up shit. Like Elon Musk has like seen the inside of a fucking computer room. Like
That's a
yeah.
brilliant question.
Yeah, okay, but okay.
Brilliant
Wait, so let me just try persuade you in the other direction for a second.
Yeah.
Depp is a fucking smoking, drinking psycho who's like, I reckon
Past his prime. Easy past his
He's
prime.
in his 60s. Lung capacity is going to nothing. Also, here's the benefit of Elon Musk. He's already played this in his head. Because get this,
He's played every scenario.
No, because get this, because get this, he fucked Amber Heard whilst Depp was married to her.
Did he
would have already, he's
'cause,
already
like, dude-
thought, like, you don't sleep with somebody else's misso unless you know in your head,
Exactly.
I'm fucking him up if
Exactly.
it comes down to it. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you don't, like, right now, like,
I wish I
like,
did that.
like, let's say, I'm just trying to think of a huge cunt right now, Tino from fucking,
Not
the
going near his
Ramones.
misso, yeah.
If he's got a misso and she's like all over my shit, I'm not touching her with a 10-foot pole because that dude's going to fucking punch my dick in.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I reckon Elon's gone, I'd rinse out that little...
Depp, dude.
that drama. The guy loves drama. He loves drama. He went to acting class.
Oh, dude, you're talking about Edward Scissorhands? Yeah, I'm not scared of that guy. But all right, I will give you this piece of evidence.
What do you think? Elon?
We're both masked.
We're masked.
Are you both masked?
Just on pure size and but this photo's pretty damning.
He's South African as well. You know he's played rugby when he's younger.
This is pretty-
6'2", 5'9". Or no, 5'10", 6'2".
Yeah, and like about
You got to think
And
about
5
pegs.
kilos difference.
Yeah.
You got to think about that. But
Show him the Musk photo.
So this is the most recent, and this is pretty damning evidence for our side.
I'm gonna
but
try and edit
this is
these on
him
screen.
on a boat in Greece.
oh wow,
that was
He looks
yesterday.
disgusting.
Dude, he does, but that's also big size. Like the Big Show.
Yeah,
the Big
he's
Show looks
90 kegs
disgusting.
there. He's 90 kegs there for
like The
sure.
weird guy behind him's like, hosing him
Like
off.
rinsing him off.
Fuck.
He's like a
He's got his
fucking.
own hoser.
He looks like a fucking circus animal, dude. That's getting like washed down. Bro.
I feel like this is
Scary.
Nah, I don't fuck that guy, dude. Depp all day, bro.
Yeah, okay, I
Right.
respect that.
yeah.
Fuck Elon on that. Based on that
I don't want to
photo.
be on that guy's side of anything, bro.
I'd
see-
be team Depp even if he was getting bashed. And I just
Oh,
I'm going down with the ship.
dude, like,
nah,
what- I don't know.
I respect
You
it.
see, that photo changed people's minds.
I do like
it actually cemented mine even more. Because can you imagine
He's big.
little Johnny just going like, ha, hitting him, and then the Tusk who grabs him and pulls him into that breast, bro. He's such a thick
breast,
torso,
yeah.
bro, ripping him
Yeah.
to the ground.
The South
choking his
African
bitch out.
factor plays a massive
Yeah.
South African is huge. You know he played rugby.
Yeah.
You know he had a bit of a tougher upbringing than
Yeah.
little fucking Depp. You know,
He's
little
got a
drama guy
mentality
Depp.
of he's got a bit of a psychotic mentality as well.
Both of them do. Yeah.
Elon, I was saying Elon, but definitely Depp. We know Depp does, but Elon has that like work ethic of like, I'm not going to give in.
Yeah. He's going to try. That's what
He would fight to the death.
Ultimately, it comes down
He
to
would-
where I
he'd be
think
happy
I
to die
stand.
and lose. He'd be like, I'm not going to lose,
Depp?
but I'll die. No, Elon would be like,
Yeah.
I'd rather die before I lose.
He would already have his consciousness
He's
uploaded
committed.
to the fucking.
He might overthink
iCloud,
the
dude.
fight.
This question I'm going to think about long after I leave.
You do, yeah. I think where I come down to it is if they met in the street right now, I might take Depp. He's got a bit of high off
Depp
coming
might
off
have
it.
knives.
But if they have time to
you can't
train,
leave me on the Elon.
No. If they have time to train, dude, Musk is way more mentally strong and way
mates
more
with
committed
Rogan.
to his craft. Like Depp's just gonna be like fucking smoking darts and drinking bourbon
Yeah,
for 6
dude.
months. And be like, oh, the fight's today. Like shit, I'm drunk as fuck.
Yeah. Throwing like darts and like a fucking thing of Elon. But I'm pretty sure Elon also has BJJ experience as well. Of
course.
Dude, he's going to fuck him up, I reckon.
Yeah.
But anyway, fuck it. We should get off this shit. But like, if you have any additions to this, please message us or comment on this thing because we've been fighting about this for
contentious.
close to 4
Yeah.
years now.
I want it. The only way it can end is if they
I've heard
actually
you guys
fight.
Yeah,
known
and
about
wait,
it before the trial.
We were
Yep.
talking about this the other day. If like realistically, actually real money, like what would you pay Depp, Musk, Suncorp, front row, corner seats?
Oh, bro, because I've been invested probably $500, and for me that's a lot of money.
$500?
For
dude,
me, that's a lot of money.
I'd like sell my car.
Yeah, and my
What's the
car's
only-
worth $500
Yeah, if I
though,
was
bro.
told-
My car's worth $500, so that's
Yeah,
me
your
doing
car's
that.
fucked.
Who do you guys like in a personality contest? Like who do you prefer out of the two.
Dude, I'd probably rather kick it with Depp. He's a better hang.
Really on the piss. I'm going on with Depp, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon's a gimp.
100%. But we're talking about a fucking fight here to the death.
Yeah.
And in that situation, I'm taking the Tusk any day of the week.
Yeah, like focus, yeah.
I reckon my main thing is like, you don't pump someone's missile unless you know you're going to fuck them up.
That's the overarching
He knows
thing.
something we don't.
Yeah, but then he's got the anger factor. Depp has the anger factor of like you banged on.
It's a great fight.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
It's
regardless.
a fantastic fight. Oh, well, I guess we'll never know.
Well,
I'm glad that somebody went against us for once, but it's just a super Musk fucking.
it's a Musk podcast.
It's a Musk podcast.
We should get like a little like North Korean very like Musk is like our
Shrine.
supreme leader. Yeah,
Tusk. Get
The
some
Tusk.
fucking like Ice Age Tusk.
Yeah.
Can we mount him on the wall?
We need like a fucking like Mount Rushmore of like Favola, Elon Musk, and fucking Matt Lodge.
Oh, bro. Also, next time we've got to bring you're going to crack up the cutout that's going to be here in the next week.
Petro. Yeah.
Fucking Petro.
We've got a
Bro,
life-size
I'll say one
Petro.
thing about Petro. Petro is the nicest human being
I can imagine. Yeah.
75 cents a litre.
ever met.
Yeah.
Really?
Like remembers everyone. I think remembers every single person.
That's
he's
so
ever
dope.
met.
And he's
So
a
I've
fucking
heard that
goat.
from like more people than you would know. He honestly remembers everyone. Like I've met him, remembered me the second time I met him, remember my name, and like everyone who's worked here is like he remembered me and like remembers like it's
That's so
Petro, top tier guy, Queenslander,
Yes.
Johnsy.
Shit bloke.
It's like Petro and like Brett White.
Yeah. Johnsy doesn't remember his like misso's name sometimes.
Which one?
You like bump it. Yeah, you bump into Petro one time, he'll never forget you.
Rightio, boys. I reckon that's us tonight. Fucking cheers, Stells, for coming
was
on.
fun.
Thanks for fucking hosting us week in, week out. Mate, if you're listening to this, and you probably already fucking do if you do listen to it, get to the Caco as many fucking weekends as possible, especially if there's a sporting event. I promise you'll have a bit more ticket to your fucking heart that night because you'll be in the thick of it.
I'll say mention After Party Podcast and I'll shout you a bevy.
Oh, that's huge.
That is fucking
Shout
big.
you a bevy.
Yeah, all right.
See how many people listen to this.
Yeah, all right.
Legit.
And you got to quote something from the pod. Don't just fucking.
Skew your goal.
You know, a few
Yeah.
blokes that'll just mooch off
Skip
that.
it.
Yeah, you have to mention something about the
Well,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to pick who would win out of Miles Step.
Yeah. You got to pick the fight.
Yeah.
Rightio, and boys, thanks for getting around us. We're fucking on a bit of a humming streak at the moment. So like, subscribe, especially subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Everything else is pumping, so just do as you fucking normally do. Share it with a mate and get around the fellas. Fucking peace.